This is a quick presentation on how dimensions work in GraphPad. So I'm going to start by just creating a real simple geometry, and we'll go ahead and add a couple of arcs. And to actually make this arc so you can actually see it better, we'll go ahead and increase the radius, and we'll make it 20, so it's a nice big arc. So if we go into dimensions mode and we have it set to auto, it's going to try and determine what type of dimension you're trying to create in a single touch. So for example, if you touch a line, it'll give you a line dimension. If you touch the vertice between two lines, it'll give you an angle dimension, etc. And if you touch a arc, you'll get a radius dimension. Now, in this particular case, where you have an arc and an angle, it's not going to know exactly what you want to do, and so you can actually say, I want a radius dimension, and then you can touch it and you'll get a radius dimension. Or, we'll back that out, you can switch that to angles and you'll get the angle dimension. And of course, all these dimensions are going to update when you update the geometry. There's also the option of creating a point-to-point dimension. So for example, if we want to know the distance between the center of the circle and this vertices, you go point to point, select one point, the second point, and you get that dimension. Likewise, if you wanted the distance between a point and a line, you go to point to line, select the point and the line you wanted it to be. Now, while you're in the field, one thing that tends to happen is that it's hard to create the precise geometry, and so sometimes it's easier just to overwrite a particular dimension. And you can put exactly what you measure in the field, hit return, and at this point the dimension will no longer update. So even though we grab this point and adjust this line, that dimension of 3 feet remains 3 feet. And even if we save this, when we restore it, it should maintain that relationship. So if we've modified these dimensions, they shouldn't change. And so I'm going to demonstrate that by going to open this DA2, which is altered 2, and we see I've changed all the dimensions to where they're all letters. And now if I modify the geometry, you'll see that those dimensions don't update. Grab this point. So none of these dimensions are going to change at this point, etc. On the other hand, if we've not modified those dimensions, and we'll open this other example, unmodified. Now if we actually make this change, and actually I see that one of these has been updated, all these dimensions update accordingly. I believe that I've actually modified this dimension, and so it's not going to change for our example. And that's my presentation. Thank you very much.